Aloha. Today I wanted to talk about something I heard I never really thought about. Like in a focused perspective before, um, but related to something else that I've been speaking about kind of like in every other video, but basically change and what it means to change and what kind of like change we're talking about in relation to like all the new age movement, the alternative news, the mainstream media imploding, the government, the totally ridiculous reality that our next president could be like a Donald Trump or even a Bernie Sanders and a Hillary Clinton. Like all that, even that is just still more of the same and more. It's a further step away from something that we were looking to address way back in, and not way back in, but in the civil rights time frames, and even before that, and just like it's basically the whole missing of the point of how far along these storylines have gone, and what it means to be moving and changing and really looking into things and investigating kind of like our realities and what tomorrow is to be, or what education is, and what, like, because a lot of just to hit on it quickly, a lot of the new age movement talks about like the star systems and basically all of this sort of into the stars, into space, into your star family, and where you came from star system wise and all this stuff. But a lot what happens in that world is a lot of the home base, the human stories get missed and lost in the sauce, and just like totally a lot of people get forgotten about and left out, and rationalizations of kind of like spiritual understandings that realm kind of gets merged into one of the main ones is, we're moving, we're in the new age and we're doing this, and then there's the people who are struggling and doing that's those people, that's what they're going through, and that's what, when you talk about love and light and all that stuff, that's not love and light. That's just more of the same, more separation, more ideas of destructive behavior that are no different than voting on going to war with Iraq after 9/11. It's no different. All this stuff is no different. So the main thing I wanted to hit and make this video short is because it change itself. So I wrote down yesterday, change. So like people say change is inevitable. And then what I was saying is that the more you change, the more the inevitability of change changes along with you. The velocity of that change speeds up, and the direction gets more in tune with all the channels going on at the same time. And change is very important. And what happens is, with a lot of the old school mentalities, we get caught in how long we've been doing something, or how much we've learned, or how long we've been here, and all this stuff that we've been doing for so long. But over time, the velocity of change kind of gets affected into a way that allows people to fall right back into the same sort of structures that existed in the 3D traps or webs of systems And it's not like a um, it's nothing to look down on. It's nothing to be like, oh yeah, this is like um, it's nothing to look down on. At the same time, it's nothing to be like, oh yeah, I'm this. It's just extreme, different versions of extremes. So not only do you affect the change, the inevitability of change, and the velocity of change when you start to change more and more, but you start to adjust time itself and change time itself by changing yourself, because you change your perspective, and then you change how you move, how you think, how you create, and in turn the people around you change, and that affects it, just shockwaves everywhere. So the biggest change I wanted to hit on right now that people are not talking about because they're so caught up in the alternative news propaganda, which is just another mainstream media, is I was watching a C-SPAN 3 history in 1986 or 84. I think it was 86. James Baldwin was on C-SPAN. He's an author. You should check him out. I saved one of his this video I'm talking about. I saved in the information playlist on this channel. But he speaks. He's a very eloquent speaker, and he gets to the main points of a lot of things. But he was speaking on one thing he said. He said when they were talking about change, he kept getting a lot of questions from 1986. And so you can imagine the questions that he was getting. And he had been talking with perspectives of pretty much like today, pretty much. So to get questions from 1986, it gets frustrating. But he wasn't frustrated to the point of getting taken out of himself. He tuned it in and really told everybody, you really got to look at the questions that are being brought about, and see the foundations of what we're talking about here. So a lot of people don't want to talk about like white supremacy, and they want to talk about it. It just like feels icky to even say those words, because you automatically you instinctively go into like the KKK and all that other stuff, and the extremes of it, and you don't really talk about or conceptualize the subtle realities of it, and how it exists in our everyday realities, even in personalities, even people who aren't white. And nobody's really white. These are all ideas that we've downloaded as part of the structure of our reality, and it's not just related to just race of black and white and this and that. It's in the psyche of individuals. And one thing he said that really got me, I never really thought about, he said we need to have a White History Week. And it just kind of hit me. It's like, and he went to explain it even further, but I mean, it makes sense, because really people are missing the point of the depths of these stories, and the foundations that are being created right now. And if people went into understanding, because we have a Black History Month, we have all these celebrations of all this other stuff, but I like Christopher Columbus Day and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's another thing and I wasn't going to do a whole video about it, but I wanted to say that a lot of this Christmas cup Starbucks bullshit that's going on is to take away from people talking about Thanksgiving and the origins of Thanksgiving and what's going on with like the kind of the history of Thanksgiving and the bloodshed there. So that the storyline's got to get put out so far, so it gets distracted so far with something. By the time that story ends, we miss like 10, 20 other stories on one layer, and then double and 10 times that in other layers. And yeah, so it's really, we're in a distractive mentality. We're in a distractive world right now that's focused on giving your power away, basically. And you're giving your power away to these old systems that are set on foundations of things such as white supremacy and control grids. And if we don't understand our history, whatever your cultural background is, if you don't connect with your ancestors, if you don't go back as far as you can, you won't be able to touch the depths of your power. You'll be stuck in limitationville, which is, where everything is want to be, just waiting on something to happen, waiting on the world to give you, or the universe that has been created by the university system that's out there, waiting constantly, giving your life away to time, giving your life away to another version of creation that's not for anybody's on a collective or even an individual basis. It's another version of slavery, a psychological slavery. It's no different than some of the worst of the worst, because this stuff is being taught to our children, and our children are having to download this stuff now. They're starting to download stories, psyches right now that they're not going to be able to do anything with until they're 15 years, 18 years, 21, 25 years. As deep as the roots are getting planted right now that are rotten, it's going to take that much longer for them to understand something. But the kids, the thing is that the kids are so quick and on point recently, and they've always been, but thinking so fast now. This is why technology is getting so out there, and putting your face tablets are being like $50 now, like, so anybody can get a tablet. But it's the bombardment. Like, put something in these kids' faces, put something in these adults' faces, so they can be distracted a little longer, so they can read these stories and these perspectives a little longer. And if we don't do something like, and this can be done individually, it doesn't have to be like a big thing. Everybody's waiting for big things. But individually, go into the history, learn your history, learn your culture, and you'll be able to learn how to create more and imagine more and do more outside of a system that's being manipulated to kind of definitely control the individual and a collective. So really, it was funny at the time, but it's real when he said that. He said this on C-SPAN in front of a lot of people out there. He was like, no, we need to have a White History Week where people just need to look at how far things have come and what's going on. What's up, Chinta? Now, what's going on with today and yesterday, and then what it is that we're going to do with tomorrow. So we won't be able to understand what tomorrow will be until we understand what yesterday was, and what our power is today. So I'll leave it there, and until next time, peace, love, and harmony.